This is Shobi, and you're tuned in to episode 5 of Love, Success, and Real Shit. Episode 5, we have a great guest with us today. We have an actress, a personality, a brand, a podcaster, and I don't know if she wants me to spill the secret yet, but she's having a future endeavor come up pretty soon. But I'm going to let you explain it. Miss Keema in the house.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
So you got something coming up soon? Are we okay with hearing about it, or?
I'll just give you, just a little bit of information. I'm going to be on a radio station out here in Houston. I'm not really sure which one yet, but I've been offered the opportunity to become a radio personality. It's one of the things on my bucket list to do. So.
Okay, nice. Apparently, you have a huge bucket list of things to do.
Yes, huge, and I'm checking them off one by one.
What's like the top 5?
Well, the top 5 is modeling, acting, like I said, radio personality. I want to do be the voice behind cartoons too. So that's one that's been that hasn't been checked yet.
You have a cartoon voice we could hear?
Everybody says that my normal voice is a cartoon voice. Everybody said that my normal voice is a cartoon voice because my voice is light. So I wouldn't have to try really hard.
That's interesting. Okay.
Other ones are actually, walking in a fashion show, big ones. It doesn't matter where it is. I already, model as it is, print modeling, that is. So I do a lot of photo shoots and things like that. But I want to get more experienced, doing the catwalk. Okay,
nice. So that, I guess that's a list of professional things you want to do, right? As far as your career is concerned. Mm-hmm. But what about, I think as sweet as the face looks, I think there's definitely a wild side to Miss Keema. So, what are those things? You skydiving, doing some. You want to be a stunt double or something, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You remember. I want to try stunt doubling.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
I know. I like, dangerous things like that. You remember when we was on the set for shooting that commercial? Actually, one of the people that were part of the camera crew, I learned that he was a stunt double and everything that he had to endure, and I was like, I could do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have someone that you already have in mind that you could audition for as a stunt double?
No, I don't really want to. There's not anyone that I really want to be like, ooh, I want to go in this movie. If the opportunity seats itself, I don't care if it's a country western movie. I'm in it.
Okay. So, but if you're casted as the lead, you're going to do your own stunts. Right.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, if I want to be a big time actress, Jackie Chan did his own stunts, so if he could do it, I can too. So.
Okay, man. So are we talking about just like flipping cars, or do you have any type of skills?
What do you mean, flipping cars? No, I don't want to be in a speed chase. I see myself, if I was to do an action movie I see myself being somewhat like a Colombiana. And I love Marvel movies too. Oh my God, oh, yeah. I'm obsessed with Marvel movies. So amazing. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna, definitely. I look forward to seeing you on the big screen. I know
yes,
that's a little bit of my dreams too. So
really?
Hopefully we'll be doing that together. Yeah, okay. Or at least if not acting, then directing.
Yeah.
So this whole crazy, bold, dangerous personality, is that kind of how you were young, kind of growing up too?
Oh yeah. I was a big tomboy growing up. Nice. Very big. I didn't wear many dresses unless, it's at a family function where your mom still dresses you, and I also had an older sister. So in those cases, she dressed us alike. Right, but I was a real big tomboy. I played basketball for 10 years. Oh,
you're a hooper.
Yeah,
nice.
I played basketball from the age of 7 to 17. Played baseball too for a few years, about 6-7 years. I did soccer for 2 years, and I did track for 3.
Were you really good at one of them?
Oh, basketball was the love of my life.
You were point guard?
No, I was a center for the longest. I've been this height for the longest, yeah.
What's your height?
I'm 5'6.5".
Okay. So were you bullying people down there, or were they almost the same size as you?
No. Crazy part is, people back home don't really grow that tall. At least not back then. I don't know what they're feeding these kids these days. But I've been this height. I stopped growing in the 8th grade. So yeah, I've been this height for a long time. So middle school, no one was as tall as me. It was very rare, but of course, once you get to high school and you're playing against older teams and stuff like that, that's when I really saw the Jolly Green Giants. And still, he put me as a center. I was very good on defense. That's why I could jump high. I was stealing. I was doing everything.
Well, that's
I was versatile.
Kind of, a little bit of a good thing because I actually hit my girl's birthday in 9th grade.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't stop at 8th, So
yeah,
that was a good thing. So that's pretty interesting. I think you have this new passion. I don't know how new it is, but I met you once before, and you carry the same passion and excitement.
Yeah.
And I know you're just tied up every day doing something. And we talked about having some time for yourself, and you haven't found any for the longest. And I think you're going to be like for the February. You're working every Monday through Sunday. Mm-hmm. So that's hectic, and everyone can't do that because I've been doing this for about 2-3 weeks. I've just been swamped, so I'm kind of feeling the burnout a little bit.
That's why I need coffee.
Yeah, that's true. Coffee does the job.
Yeah.
Nice. No, that's pretty interesting, So, you were this tomboy in high school.
Very big. Well, it was elementary, middle, and high school.
Okay. So when did the transition happen into, what we see today?
Oh, God.
The process.
This just recently happened. I want to say I didn't become girly-ish, so to say, until like my junior year in college. Yeah.
Okay. And what made you kind of...
I wasn't hooping anymore.
Okay. You started finding some likings in boys and stuff at that point?
I had my friend's boyfriend was like at 13, and he was a hooper too, but we didn't kiss or anything. Most we ever did was hold hands, and we were together for like almost 3 years.
Oh, really? From freshman to junior year?
It was more like from 7th grade to freshman year, almost sophomore year. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. So that it was just kind of just time for you to kind of stop doing sports, so you started becoming, or changing up, more to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So, you're currently you're a single mother.
Yes.
Right. And we are discussing as one of the topics is love.
Yes.
So
one of my favorites.
Yes. I think it kind of hits home for a lot of people. The love subject, right? So we're interested in learning some juicy stuff, but also the lessons behind or after you've kind of experienced those lessons. Mm-hmm. So you're a single mother, and how did that exactly come to be?
Oh wow. Let's see here. I had just got accepted into Southern University, A&M College in Baton Rouge, back home. And, my mama was excited. They have this little program called Jaguar Preview. So that means before your fall semester, when you're about to go in, they let you spend like a month of the summer on campus just to see what it's like. My mom let me go. In the midst of that going on, I wasn't dating anyone, but my mom called me and she was like, your cousin's here with some guy. They can't stop looking at your picture. And I was like, yeah. Like, really? She puts him on the phone. I was like,
who the fuck is that?
Right. I'm like, who are you? He was like, hey, my name is so-and-so. And I was like, okay. I was very rude. So my mom was like, he'll be waiting for you when you come back. And I'm like, oh, God. So
what is this?
Right. The love connection. She does it all the time. So,
guys drooling over my pictures at home.
Right. It's kind of creepy, right?
Yeah.
So, I get back home that exact day. He's on my couch with my cousin. I'm like, hi, how are you? Like that. And we go downtown and then, walk downtown, and the rest is history. We became, a couple. And then shortly after, he asked me to marry him. And then shortly after, I got pregnant.
How long shortly?
It was short.
Yeah. How long was that period?
So he was in the Army. Crazy story. He was in the Army. It was March 2nd. He asked me to marry him. We had made it official, I want to say in like August or September. Because it was a few months, right? Probably like 6. Then he asked me to marry him. And I was like, oh my God, yes. And then, that night he takes me to this building and, my dad's there. And I'm like, Dad, I'm thinking we're going to dinner. That's what he said. And so my dad opens up my door, hands me a piece of paper. And I'm like, what the heck is this? It's an invitation to my wedding. The very next day, wow. March 3rd.
Oh, no way. So this was all planned behind the scenes.
Yeah, I didn't get to plan my own wedding.
So if you would have had said no,
exactly, I was like, what the heck? What if I would have said no? All the money would have been wasted. Everything. So I walk in the building. My dad leads me into the building. My best friends are there. My sister's there. It's a rehearsal. And I'm like, oh, righty then.
So were you kind of upset? Because I know it's whenever a girl's getting married, and it's very much emotional for her, right? And she likes to be involved in the preparations and kind of get everything together. So were you kind of like, this is messed up? Or were you like, oh, this is pretty cute and pretty thoughtful?
I was just... I was too shocked to feel anything at that point. It was all happening so fast. I was like, okay, everybody's here. Oh, okay. All right. I had already said yes. So I was like, whatever. He was about to go to Iraq. So it made sense, like 2 days afterwards. So our honeymoon was like a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Louisiana?
Mm-hmm. Lafayette.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Nice. So... you're married now, and then he's going. Where'd he go? Iraq?
Yeah, he went to Iraq.
Okay. Yeah. And when was it till he came back, or how often did he come back?
He didn't. He didn't come back until I want to say like a few days before the delivery of our baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you pretty much you got pregnant right after he left?
So funny story. I was actually pregnant during.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was my second guess.
I was pregnant during. And so, but it was totally not noticeable. I was like more tinier than what I am now.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
And so I couldn't stop thinking when I found out that I was pregnant. I was like, no, I've been drinking. Like, I've been drinking a lot. Yeah, I knew something wasn't right, but we had a hospital on our campus. And, I went over there. None of my friends could go with me. They were in class. And so the doctor was like, congratulations. I was like, yes, I'm not going to be your mommy. And he was like, no, you're pregnant. I was like, what? I was so scared to tell my mom.
You were?
Yeah, but she claimed she already knew. She's like, Moms already know.
Why were you scared to tell her?
Oh, my God. Like, what?
Is it because my daughter's pregnant without being married?
No.
Or?
No. It's because of how I grew up. How me and my sister grew up, I never really got to talk. I just got threatened. Like, I didn't know how nothing worked. So it was just like, you better not come home pregnant. You better not do this. You better not do that. Oh my God. So I never got to talk. I didn't know anything. Like, I was green.
Okay. So it was, you weren't, you were at least expected to.
Exactly.
To be that one that, okay.
Yeah.
So she was kind of happy.
Yeah, she didn't have any grandkids. And, my mom had me at 31.
Okay. Wow.
Right. And so.
How old was your dad at that time?
3 years younger.
So okay. So he was 28?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, I don't know. I guess she was ready for grandkids, I guess. And I was just lucky enough to get pregnant. So
it seems like everything was happening really fast with you.
Yeah, very fast.
So and you're around what age? 21, 22?
I was 18. No, I was 19. Yeah.
So, was this kind of like, okay, this is going towards like, it's working out for me and I don't mind what's happening? Or was there anything where you're like, man, one thing after another? Like, what was your situation at that point?
I want to say everything just happened so fast. It was happening so fast. I didn't have time to feel because, I was in school. I had a lot of stuff going on. I didn't have time to worry about anything else. I had to make good grades. I had to make sure my baby was healthy. I was walking every day to make sure I wasn't being lazy and everything on campus. And so,
were you happy?
Yeah. Okay. For the most part, that was the best part. I don't regret anything, that happened. And I feel like God doesn't make any mistakes. I was around my friends, who loved me, looked out for me, when I was on campus, made sure, I was good. I got text messages throughout the day. You straight? You need anything? So they didn't make me feel pregnant. I knew I was pregnant, but they didn't. It just was like normal.
Okay, so you're happy. You're married. You have a child on the way. Everything's kind of working out. Your parents are excited.
Yeah.
So what happens after?
Oh, so during the summer, things got rocky.
Right after you had the baby?
No, I had my baby in September.
Okay. So that same year, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. All of this. 2010 was very eventful. I got engaged, pregnant, married, and divorced the same year.
Jesus.
Yeah. So summer was very hard. Going to appointments, by myself was that was the worst part. What
transitioned into it? Because it seems like he was more happy and he was more taking initiative of getting married to you.
Yeah.
It seems like, well, first he comes and drews all of your pictures.
Yeah.
And then he, wants to hurry up and get married to you before he leaves.
Yeah.
Then you guys are conceiving, you know. So at this point, what went wrong over the summer? Because that's so close.
Oh, man. What didn't go wrong? Our parents weren't getting along. Like his mother and my mother. They both knew that we were young. And I had this conversation with him like a few weeks ago. Because it was been years since we spoke. And we had to hash it out. He wanted closure. So I was like, all right, I'll give you that.
We're going to get to that.
Right. And so, sorry.
That's fine.
And so, our parents wasn't getting along. They both knew that we were very young when we got married. So, his mom is playing mother hen, my mom's playing mother hen, mama bear, would you will. And so they're both protective over us. We didn't even have a bank account before this. I never had a bank account like ever. And I'm married, so they were there every step of the way. They stopped getting along. Families, it's like a Romeo Juliet kind of thing. Yeah, families not getting along. Then all of a sudden I'm hearing stories of him not wearing his wedding ring while he's away.
Who are you hearing it from? His
friends.
They're with him?
Yeah.
Damn, so
and
they're
wives
breaking the
and
bro
girlfriends.
code. But for a good reason.
Yeah, for a good reason. And from there, from the wives of his friends and so on and so girlfriends, whatever you want to say. So he comes back for the birthday of the baby. I was induced under duress because it was not my idea. I wasn't ready, but she was. And so she's actually born on her daddy's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so that happened. We moved into our own place. Everything's hunky-dory, but he did not come back the same. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand it. He was more controlling. I couldn't go anywhere. My parents had like limited time to come visit me, and it was less than an hour. And so yeah, I couldn't go anywhere.
It's just so I'm trying to paint the picture here or put the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah.
So he's not wearing his ring and he's in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I don't know exactly how it happens there, but I guess he was trying to date Iraqi women or was it a community of
mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what's kind of what's going on. So, he comes and he's acting weird and what was, did you guys have the conversation? Did you actually ask him about that?
No, I didn't. Because at the time, I'm just like, I'm never the type to go off of hearsay. It's whatever is revealed to me, that's what I will believe. And so, plus I was very naive back then. Mm-hmm. Very. And I'm like, people will say anything or whatever. Because they didn't even come to the wedding.
Who didn't?
His best friends.
Oh, okay.
And so, it was one occasion, me and him had a mutual friend. And it was her birthday. And she wanted me to go celebrate with her. Mm-hmm. And he told me no, I couldn't. And she got upset and she unleashed and when he, went into another room, she unloaded a lot of stuff and information to me. And I knew she wasn't lying, yes. And so I'm crying to my mom. My mom goes investigates because Lafayette is very small. Very small. And so she finds out some more information. And then she comes back to me with the information and she was like, what are you going to do with it? Are you gonna try to make your marriage work? I was like, I'm so out of here. I'm out. I'm OUT. Out.
So it wasn't a strike one, strike two. It was one strike and done.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it must be some crazy things or.
No, I was always that way.
No, I'm saying as far as the information that was told to you about him.
Oh, it was cheating accusations with proof.
How'd you get the proof on that?
Oh God!
Did you do a little a private investigator or something? Or?
Oh, my mom's a very good investigator, and she
followed him around.
No. She went to very reliable sources that had information.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
So it was confirmed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you were kind of just. How are you feeling? Were you kind of broken at that point, or were you, how's your? Because it seems like you were very, you don't really talk much. You're a little bit more reserved, and as you mentioned, naive. So
yeah.
How did that conversation go with him after you? Oh,
there was no conversation. I up and left.
Just got up your stuff and left and went back to your mom's.
Yeah. No, I didn't go back to my mom's. That was my place.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like. I'm very strategic, may I say. Okay. So when I leave, is normally premeditated.
Gotcha.
Okay. So if I'm feeling this way, I'm not just going to up and leave and don't know where I'm going with my baby that's only 1 month old. And you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I already had things
Plan
into
B.
place. Right. As a woman, and I feel like men, have intuitions too.
Absolutely.
Right.
We're planners.
Listen to it. It's never wrong. So if you feel like your lady is hiding something from you or she's cheating, most likely, she is, if you know her.
No, absolutely. I think, that feeling definitely has occurred in the past,
mm-hmm.
And
were you right?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of course. I'm right. Or I know I'm close to the bullseye, for mm-hmm. the most part. So that's really interesting. Mm-hmm. So, you're kind of just over it. So was it an easy kind of separation? Did he accept it and move on?
Oh, no, it wasn't easy.
Okay. So was he kind of just really upset and kind of.
Oh, yeah. That's why you can't. I'm a firm believer of you cannot break up with a person in front of their face because you don't know how they'll react. Man or female. You don't know. So I just rather leave, without you knowing that I'm gone, and then we'll talk after you simmer down.
But that was your place, though.
Yeah.
So how'd you get him out?
It's a long story.
Okay. So it wasn't simple.
No,
nice. Okay.
but kind of. But it's a long story if you want to come back to it.
Absolutely.
But I left with my baby. I told my mom where I was going. I begged her not to tell anyone. I went to my cousin's house out here in Houston. I have family out here. I stayed out here with Brittany for a week. She was with me. And my cousin, she's a bartender. She was like, I got the baby. Just enjoy the bar every night if you have to. Like, she understood. It's my first marriage. You know what I'm saying? I'm contemplating divorce. My sister somehow found out. She's calling me, don't do it. You're supposed to make it work. And blah, 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 blah. And I can't. Like, I'm a firm believer of not wasting my time. I'm 19. I have my whole life to live. This is not the end of the road. Trust me.
Right.
So I was fine with the separation. It was just the lies and deceit. And how many people were in on it that knew. It makes you feel like, well, dang, you're around everyone, and for months, the joke's been on you.
No, right on.
Right.
Do you think, when you talk to him now, what kind of conclusion do you draw? Was it where he just wasn't into the marriage, or he just wanted to still be a 19 or 20-year-old and have some fun?
At the time, you're hurt, right? Any heartbreak, 16, 15, 17, 18. Oh my God, I can't believe. But as you get older, you're like, of course that was going to happen. We're young. You know, we're still
discovering ourselves.
We don't think clearly. We act before we think. We're young. And we met pretty young. I mean, he's a year older than me, but still.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Right. So, and I told him we wasn't not even close ready for marriage, you know, or any of that kind of stuff. We were moving too fast. Everything happened. And I didn't even want kids. Okay. I didn't want kids.
So 19, married, pregnant, and divorced. Uh-huh. Right. So we move on from there.
Yeah.
So when did that kind of leave when did that chapter end? Did it end that year, or did it kind of carry on for a few years?
It lingered because in the state of Louisiana, your divorce is not finalized when you have a kid until a year after you filed.
Well, as far as you as a person, where you kind of moved on and doing your own thing.
Yeah. Like my friends really played a big part in me moving on and helping me discover this person that you see before you.
How hard was it?
It wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard?
It wasn't hard.
So were you ever really into it? To the marriage?
Yeah.
You were? Like, you really liked that person?
Oh, my God, yeah. I wore the ring around campus. You know, guys, big belly, ring and all. They didn't care.
Okay.
I was like, no, I'm married, blah, 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 blah. So I took my vows seriously. You know, whether I'm married or not, I'm very loyal. So, yeah, I took it seriously.
Yeah, but, you know, but there's still a certain thing when it comes to, hey, I'm actually in love with this person.
Yeah.
Or, hey, for name's sake, it's a relationship, it's a marriage, and I have to do my part. Mm-hmm. And I'm more binded to the term rather than the person. So I guess from that, I was wondering because, you know, especially females, I mean, I think back in that time, it's not like that long ago, 10 years ago.
It's 50 years ago.
But, you know, I feel like times have changed.
It really has. It really has.
I feel like, you know, before, when females got cheated on or something like that happened, they were in misery a lot longer.
Oh yeah.
You know, than men were, and it's not that long ago. But now I think the playing field is kind of evened up here,
right?
And you know, now this whole dating scene is kind of fucked up. So so you know, I'm talking about from that perspective. Yeah. You know, so what were you because for you to be over that quickly?
Oh, Shelby, I was and that's so funny because I feel like I was always that way. I was never the one to stick it out. Never. I don't care how long I've been knowing you. I don't care if you're my best friend knowing you for 10 years. I don't care if we've been, you know, together for 2-3 years. Like if you cross me, I feel like, you know what you were doing. So I can't trust you. So you got to go. Give you a second chance for what?
No second chances. Yeah. You know, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, you know, for example, this one girl, we weren't even official dating yet, but in my mind, I had kind of already in a way committed to her. You know, yeah, in that way, right?
Shelby moves fast.
I mean, you know, in certain situations, like it doesn't happen to me often, but you know, but when I feel like it's worth it, like, you know, I'm more serious about it, you know.
Yeah.
And what happens was like, so not that I'm saying this was the right person, but yeah. I fell for her for the wrong reasons, right? Not necessarily even the wrong reasons, but actually for the potential of what it could be.
That's always the problem.
That's always the issue because I was always expecting that person to be able to change. And that's not right. And not that I'm expecting to change, but she had just gone through a major breakup. So I know it takes time for healing,
Shelby,
right?
you set yourself up. Oh, my God.
I did.
How old were you?
I think it was about 2 years ago.
Oh no, Shelby, we cannot be making these mistakes.
I know.
You know, we can't be making these mistakes.
Tell me about it. And what, you know, what happened was like, But I guess it's different for everybody because I'm also on the same boat. I used to give a lot of chances before, but now obviously like you're smarter about the situation. But the thought, of course, like when we kind of had ended it, I was like, there's no way in hell that me and her would ever be together. And, you know, there's no way that I would want to be with her because she's just not that respectful. Like, it's just a lot of boundaries that she crossed.
Yeah.
So, but the thoughts still remain, or you still miss that person, you know. So, you know how some people just can't get over somebody, you know, and there's always a light at the end of the road. It's not always like that for everyone listening. But that wasn't the case for you, but yours was even bigger because you were married.
I was married. That's the thing that a lot of people tend to focus on. You were married. And I think they fail to realize that even when you're married, you're not safe.
Yeah.
It's a relationship with you guys' signature on a paper. You know what I mean? It's still the same exact thing. So a lot of married people are walking around here. I'm safe. I got my man, or I got my old lady, or whatever like that. Blah, blah, blah. You're not safe. And I always thought that way. And so it was just like it's easy for me to move on from a relationship, depending on, you know, how severe, you know, their actions were in the betrayal. It was just as easy for me to move on from the marriage. I think what kept me in, I want to say anger. I was more angry than anything. I wasn't sad. Like, I didn't cry. I was furious.
Yeah.
I was furious because now you made me a statistic.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm too good for that. So for many years, I was like, you know, for many years, I was with guys that wanted to have kids. And I was like, I'm not going to be out here with 2 baby daddies. And da, 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 da. You know what I mean? And so I didn't want any more kids.
Okay.
Going down the line, I was scared of being married again. So I may have gotten over it, but I have a lot of more, I don't want to say insecurities, but I'm more...
It still haunted you.
Not really haunted. I'm more... I don't know what's the word for it.
You're more cautious about the next person, or what if things turn out to
protective
be that way.
of my space.
Right.
So after that, I turned for the worst. Oh yeah, because I was angry. I turned for the worst. So on campus, I had this friend named Kanita. On campus, my name was Kiki. Her name was Kiki. So I was Kiki 1, she was Kiki 2. Only because I was taller. But right. And so I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to date anybody. After that, she was like, Keema, you're too pretty up the girl, and you need to enjoy life. And I was like, I don't want to. So she starts, like, she would do things like, come have lunch with me. And I'm like, okay, and have like 2 guys already waiting at the table. Come over to my place so we could, you know, watch TV or whatever, and have guys. And I was like, stop. She was like, you need to freaking date. I was like, I'm not ready. She was like, if you don't do it now, you'll never be ready. And so I was like, okay. And then I turned for the worst because I wasn't dating for fun. I was dating to hurt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never heard that one before.
Yeah.
Unless this is a crazy ass movie.
I was dating to hurt. In my mind, you know, if I seen any type of personality trait that he had, you're out. Oh, okay, so you want to argue with me about something that happened in the cafeteria? You know what? I really don't have time for this. You're good to go. But Keema, no, I'm sorry. Bye. You don't want to walk me to class? Bye. You don't want to do this? Bye. You don't want to do that? Bye. No, I just wanted to see you that night. You're good. It was getting really bad. And so one of my friends sat me down, and she was like, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? And I was like, what? I'm dating. She was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And I was like, yes, I am. She was like, I know you. No, you're not. She was like, you get satisfaction out of this. I was like, why not? so she was like, Keema, that's not right. I was like, what you fail to realize is guys do this to us all the time. When they see you, they already know what they want. They already know how long they're going to try to talk to you to get what they want. So why can't we do the same? And that's the mindset that I had until my sophomore year, mid-sophomore year. And then I got into an abusive relationship.
Okay. Yeah. So that didn't help the situation?
No.
So this person that you moved on with, was it because you've changed and you don't want to date her anymore, or was this person different to where it kind of made you change the reason of why you wanted to date? Maybe you want to try it again.
He was very nice. My ex-husband, he's stubborn and like things his way. He's an enforcer, but like I told you, after he came back, because he wasn't like that. We were best friends. We clowned in the beginning. We had so much fun. But when he came back different. All right? And so I guess at that time, I wasn't thinking of the post-traumatic distress, whatever it's called, because my dad was also in the Army. He suffered of the same thing. I just knew that it was happening to me.
Yeah.
Right. And so this guy, he actually gave me my job after I don't want to say first job. I'm going to say first job after I filed for divorce, because I was in school and my mom was like, okay, you need to start making some money. So not only was I a full-time student, I was a full-time mother with a full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah, there was no fun for me during college. No fun. So I got me a job thanks to the guy. And he started me off with just a little bit more than what he did everybody else, because I told him what was going on. Nobody else ever found out until like after I quit. So yeah, he was my boss.
Okay.
And he was very nice, gentle with me, because he knows my situation. My mom would come by my job with my baby. Everybody loved it. It was nice. But I caught myself in a love triangle.
He was married?
No. He had a girlfriend.
That you knew about or no?
I knew about her. So me and him became really close friends. I wasn't ready to date, like I told you before, at all. And he was going through things on his end as well. So it was one of those situations to where one day my mom and my stepdad, they lived together, they got into a big argument. And my stepdad would normally let my mom use the car to drive me back to Baton Rouge. And well, that was a no-go. So I had no way back to school. And so my mom called him without me knowing. I was like, can you please bring Keema to school? La, la, la. That's a 50-minute drive.
Yeah, wow.
So now I have to explain. I felt that I had to explain, why I'm in your car and you having to bring me to school. And so we had a nice lengthy talk. And I told him about everything that I was going through, everything that I went through in the past years with my stepdad. And yeah, it's a long ride.
Yeah, you don't really have bosses that do that. That's going
right. And so we became really good friends. Like, I'm talking really good friends. When he would have trouble in his relationship, he would call me and I was like, did you try this? Did you do this? Did you try this? And he would send me pictures like, all right, I did exactly what you said with the flowers and everything. I was like, she gonna love this. Mind you, like, I only met the girl twice. Right? She didn't work where we worked.
Yeah.
So next thing I know, trouble in paradise. He talks to me about it. Of course, I'm there. I'm like, before you leave, make sure you did everything that you could to stay. I'm a firm believer in that too.
Effort.
Right. So don't just, you have an argument and walk out. No. And so he goes into deeper detail, and she had a kid as well. So I'm putting myself in her shoes too. And so time goes on, I push him to make it work, until he says he can't do it anymore. And she starts suspecting that me and him is messing around because one day he walks in the house with me on the phone, and I'm like, okay, do what you say you're gonna do, work it out, stick it out. He was like, I got this. And she was like, what do you got? And I was like, gotta go. Yep. And he was like, that's Keema. What? That tramp? I was like, I'm a tramp now. Oh my God. Like, girl, you better know me. So I'm trying to help you, So
God dang.
Yeah, one day he left home. It was the day of his birthday. His birthday is December 31st. He was like, I can't take it anymore. He was like, we're arguing, and he told me that, she would lay hands on him, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, why don't you just come spend, your birthday with us? It was me, my mom, my baby, my sister, her boyfriend at the time. We all went to the casino.
Okay. So he fit in.
Right. And so I was like, come on, let's just go celebrate your birthday with us. So we all go to the casino or whatever like that. We losing, but we drinking, so we don't care. Time, right. And so he was like, look, I don't want to go home. So I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, can he, stay here? She was like, that's what you want to do. Just, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So he was like, no, I just can't go home. I deserve to have a good birthday. So I was like, okay. So he lays on my mom's couch. I go bring him a cover, and I go in my room. Next thing I know, he was like, psst, psst. And I'm like, what? What? He was like, come see. And I'm like, okay. So I come. I was like, what's wrong? And so he tells me, I really, really like you. And I'm like, what? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, I've been liking you for a while. And I'm like, what?
What is going on right now?
Right. Mind you, I'm dating like a football player right now who's like about to blow up, right? And I'm like, okay. And so I was like, I don't date guys with girlfriends. He was like, I'll end it. It's over. It's already over. It's been over. I just been staying there because you told me to. And I'm like, okay, well, when you do it, we can start dating. And so he claims that he did a few days afterwards. So I'm like, okay. And then I find out that he did not.
Oh, wow.
And then he's telling her a few things and then telling me other things. And it made us, like girls, go at each other. But for the like of me, I wasn't understanding for the longest, like, why is she coming at me? Why is she coming at me?
Right.
And he was actually, telling her he's still in love with her and blah, 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 and then telling me, because I'm asking him.
Playing games.
Right, playing games. And so she didn't make it any better.
So you caught yourself. How did it get to the abuse?
Oh, God. So me and him moved in together. Everybody around town was like, he's still messing with her. He's still messing with her, telling my mom or whatever like that. And I'm like, I don't believe it. Because, again, I believe it when I see it. Mm-hmm. And so me and him moved in together. And so she had found me on GroupMe and was like sending all kind of stuff. So I was like, because remember, she don't have my number.
Yeah.
So I hit her up on GroupMe and I was like, look, we really need to talk. I went by your job. You wasn't there. Meet me by the Chuck E. Cheese. Whatever. So I sit down and I let her know everything. And she thinks that I'm lying. And I was like, you don't believe me? Let's go drive to his house. Let's go. So we go to his house and he basically tells her the truth. What she does, she spins it and goes around and tell everybody in the city the total opposite. Now I'm a big whore, big slut. Right. And plus I was her best friend and the nanny of her kid. It was a lot of crazy. It was a lot of crazy crap. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. So he got a promotion that caused us to move to, where did we move? It wasn't Metairie. I forgot. But it was in that area. Mm-hmm. It was in that area. And so we were staying in his apartment before. And the day of our moving day, with me, if you're done, you're done. There shouldn't be any lingering pictures. There shouldn't be. Right. So I had asked him many times in our relationship before, like, are you still like keeping stuff of hers or whatever? Because people's coming up to me and was like, yeah, he still has this of hers. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, this whole time. So he goes to the store and get boxes, and I look in his computer. And I'm like, this lying son of a... And I was about to take a bath. But instead of me getting into the water, I threw the computer in the water.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I watched it drown. And so he came back, and he's like, oh, my God, babe, you won't believe what I seen at the store, this funny old man. And I was like, oh, my God, that's so funny. Wait till you go into the bathroom. That's even more funny. He goes into the bathroom. I'm walking into the kitchen. And next thing you know, my body flies against the wall.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and when you're in it, you're like in shock.
Right.
You know, so my body flies against the wall. My face like smacks into the wall. To this day, like I really can't hear that good in this ear because he like poof.
Man, okay.
Yeah, my head into the wall.
Pretty powerful.
Yes.
Right.
And so I turn around, you know, and I'm just looking at him. He's punching me like in my chest. Yeah, and so I grabbed for a knife. This dude is like, and I'm like, oh my God, it's over. Like, it's over for me. It's over for me. Yeah. And so he picks me up, and body slams me on the floor, and he drags me to the room. Yeah.
It just continues there?
Yeah, and so that's where it was. It was Baton Rouge. So we moved to Baton Rouge. Mind you, I'm still in college. And my baby's living with us. She's like 2 years old. And so I kept just finding stuff. And every time I found it, it made me more angry. And so I found something else. And I'm like, you know what? I'm out of here. And so I called my sister to come get me, and he's like, you ain't going nowhere. You're being stupid. You're being silly. And I go into the room, and I remember what happened to me last time, so you're not going to catch me off guard this time. So I already had some like major big scissors in my top drawer. So I unhook them, and I was like, you come one step close to me, it's on. And so we started tussling, and he's choking me or whatever, and I scratch him across his eye, kind of like Scar, Lion King style. Right. And so he's like pretty boy-ish. So he was like, oh my God, my face. He runs to the bathroom. I snatch my baby. We run outside. And my sister.
It's all the same day, right?
No.
Oh, this happens a lot. This happens a lot.
Not it. I can count on both hands, but no more than both hands.
Okay.
Right. So this was like a few months later. And then I stayed in my sister's house for about like a week. And I go back. And nobody ever understood why I went back. I went back because I wasn't done. Not with him, if you know what I mean. And so he gets another promotion.
So wait, clear that up.
Okay, I wasn't. How can I? I'm a very vengeful person. If you do me wrong, and that's how I always handled my situations. Okay, I can make an abrupt exit that'll make you feel it, and you'll never see it coming, and it'll hurt you the most because you'll never hear from me again.
So you went back to game plan.
Exactly. I went back, and I went through a lot, and I started, fighting back, and then when we lived in that place near Slidell, that's what it's called, Slidell. I found out that he was messing around with his best friend's fiance, whose name shall not be mentioned, but she knows who she is. And he promised me that when we moved to Slidell, that no drama from Lafayette will follow us. Meanwhile, he moved her from Lafayette to Mississippi, which is like 30 minutes away from Slidell, in another store, so she can be close to him. And I found out. So after that, my sister was like, why don't you just leave? I was like, I can't. I cannot. I can't. So I knew this big family Hawaii trip was coming up. That was supposed to be my exit. When he leaves, I was supposed to go. I made a big fuss not to go. I was like, our place is not even fully furnished yet, and you want to go to Hawaii? I'm not doing it. I'm going to stay and be a responsible and adult. La, 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 la.
But you're game planning.
Exactly.
Yep.
So when he goes off to Hawaii, we had fought the night before because I asked to go through his phone, and we were tussling over the phone, and he punched me in the face. Right. And so we fought the night before. So while he's in Hawaii,
you are adventurous. You're just purposely taking those hits just to kind of make that one big exit.
I'm determined.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but during this time, from the move from Baton Rouge to Slidell is when I actually started. I started some of the fights on my own because it's like, why am I the only one getting hit? I should, you know what I mean? You deserve to get hit too. So he started sleeping with the door locked. Okay. And I would kick it down every day.
Damn.
And he would have the last one in Slidell, I kicked it off.
Nice.
And he had to pay for it. So he went to Hawaii. And I know he's feeling bad, so I used that to my advantage. And I'm like, you over there, you don't love me, la 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 la. And so I was like, you didn't leave me here with anything or whatever, la 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 la. And so meanwhile, I had a week to find an apartment, furnish shit, everything. Mind you, I was talking to someone else when this happened. We weren't together, but hey.
You're backup plan.
You're doing you. I'm going to do me. So there was a few days I came home with shopping bags. I didn't sleep with the guy. Shopping bags, feeling great. And I told him I bought it my own. But he sent me some money, and I used it as a deposit for my apartment. Nice. Found an apartment in Metairie, close to my best friend, Gwen. I already had a job lined up in my field, accounting. Yeah. Found me some furniture. And so the place wasn't ready when he came back, my apartment. So I had to fake it 3 more days. And that's when Straight Outta Compton came out. So I was like, we gotta go see that movie. We dressed in all black. We took pictures in the photo booth the night before I left him. Mm-hmm. And had sex with him. It was very nice. Made it memorable. And while he slept, I already had my bags packed in my daughter's room. So I always left every morning before him. So while he was sleeping, I gave him a little kiss on the forehead like I always do. Closed his door, took all my stuff out, and went to work. While I'm at work, he calls me. You think you gonna leave me? I'll find you. La, 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 la. Meanwhile, my mom and dad has the U-Haul with stuff already in it, bringing it to my apartment that day. And my best friend was like, well, what if he goes to your job? Which he did. So she met me there. And as soon as I got out the parking garage, he was there. And so was she. He didn't know she was there. And so she was like, Keema, come to the car. And I never seen him again.
Wow. And this was how many years ago?
5. I actually called him 2 weeks ago because his sister died. And me and his sister were close.
Damn.
And I called him and I told him that I wished the best for him and his family. But 5 years, he never heard from me nor seen me.
So is this Keema, trying to put into words, the vengeful, always looking to seek revenge or get even, the competitive, pretty competitive. Yeah, the tomboyish coming back, basketball or whatnot. So is that still you? Or has it dimmed?
I've never really put myself in that type of situation
after that.
I dated, nothing past a year, nothing really past 6 months, really. It made me very cautious of who I bring around my daughter, and I'm just thankful that was so young to where now she barely remembers. She remembers us arguing, and she remembers one incident. But I know as time lingers, it's gonna fade, and so that's one thing that I'm trying to really make sure it never happens again, because I grew up with painful memories.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, as we're drawing towards the end of the podcast, something that I kind of see in this whole situation, or like my summary of this, is that your heart is always at the right place. Like, yeah. I think you're always wanting to have that perfect soulmate and have that perfect
I don't
family.
believe in perfect.
Well, I mean, not in that sense, but perfect for you, as in what's going to really work and kind of grow and blossom into a more eventful and joyful years in your life.
But you know what happens? I always tend to run across guys that see my ambition and they love my ambition and the hunger that I have for life and my career, and that's what draws them to me. But once we start to get to know each other and actually start to date, that's one thing that they try to control. And that's one thing you're never going to be able to control, is where I go and where my success is headed. I don't believe in putting aside my career or anything that I want to do to suit you and your ego.
Right. No, 100%.
So that's a problem that I have now.
No, absolutely. So that's the problem you have now dating?
Yeah. A lot of guys want you to... I was, still am. Really, me and him are really good friends. I met this guy. Me and him still talk. Almost 3 years ago. He was fresh out of prison. 10 years he did.
Okay, wow.
But I don't judge.
Yeah.
I really don't. People make mistakes. You live, you learn. So me and him really got serious. But he cheated on me as well. And I said, okay, now you're in the friend zone. And he remains there. But he also wanted me to move to Florida, where he's from.
Did you get back at him?
I stopped talking to him for a while, and I DM'd the girl, the side chick that he was talking to, and I made him go on a 3-way and break it off with her. Then I broke it off with him.
Damn.
So yeah.
So there's a lot of lessons that we learned. Don't fuck with anybody. if you're serious, if the male or female is telling you their true intentions, then try your best to respect that and either be with it or be gone, because you don't know who the fuck you're gonna fuck with. You fuck with the wrong person. May God be with you. So
never trust another one. Never trust someone's representative. Everyone has one. You have one. I have one. Everyone has one. It's just when that representative disappears, you don't know the severity of anger, damaged type of events that has happened to the person that you're dating until you do the work. So never really get set on a person, I say, until after 6 months.
After 6 months.
People say 90 days. That's how long they give you for a job. But even then, when you're on a job, you fake it till you get the job. After you get the job, you fake it till you get the promotion. After you get the promotion, you fake it till you get another promotion, and so on and so forth, to where once you reach the top, you no longer have to fake it anymore. So you have to be strategic as they are. And if you feel like something's wrong, just stay there. Find out. Because if you leave before you find out, it's going to mess with you. So you have to stay until you find out. So you stay. You stay. You stay. You stay. You fake it along with them. You stay. You stay. And if it's consistent, then you stay. In a good, consistent way. If it's not, you go.
Male or female?
Both ways. We do it too. And
that's the ending remarks in the last few words that Miss Keema had to say. And man, what episode. Totally did not expect it to go this way.
I know.
Totally not, I learned a lot about you, and I appreciate you kind of sharing that, because believe it or not, everyone handles situations differently, and it's just a lot to be learned from this podcast episode. So I appreciate it. We will put your Instagram handle, and she's an actress. She's doing a bunch of things. She's about to be a radio jockey at the new station.
Yes.
She's a big personality, as you can see. So everyone go check her out. Keema, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Shelby.
No problem. All right, guys, we're tuning out. Peace. Oh man, what was that?
Yeah,
that's some stuff.
I want to